To a degree that most people will never know. You psycho bitch. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Durarara. Once again, thank you to Master Detective for sponsoring these. I've got notes. I always come with the board, so let's say we start off with the board. As always, I have a board changelog. I went back to episode 11 and investigated the crowd to assemble a listing, to the best of my ability, of who is in the dollars. So if you're looking at the board and you see a gray outline around a character, that means that they're part of the dollars. I recognize that probably wasn't the best color choice, given the fact that it's a white background. But you have the ability to zoom in, and of course, as I always say, down in the description below, there will be a link to a board that the viewers can see, so they could also zoom in and better see the gray outlines. I added the love faction, the love zombie faction as well. I guess I could just call it the Sakya faction, but the fact is, it seems to be multiple Sakya factions, so I'm not sure how to do that. So just everybody that's a love zombie of some sort. Yeah, I put a red border around. Obviously, there are some people who are also members of the dollars who are also in the love zombie faction too, because they're two completely different things. You could have been a member of the dollars and then got infected, so I connected Takashi and Haruna with a purple line and with a red arrow. I connected Haruna and Henri with a red line. And a note here, as I was bringing up before, unsure if I should add a Sakya square to connect people with, since it's a living sword that controls people, essentially having its own consciousness, but, you know, the element that it's being suppressed by Henri, because Henri can't love.
And so she was half and half. She's part of the faction, but also part of
Well, I mean, there's other people that are half and half. Haruna.
Yeah.
Like, Haruna, we know, is part of the dollars. She's in the chat room. I don't know how many. Like I said, I'm zoomed out far enough so that the screen can show all the characters that I can't myself see the gray lines, which is why I knew it was a bad idea. Bad color choice.
I mean, but she was always the one that was.
In fact, no, I know it's such a bad color choice.
That's the explanation why.
Let me finish this real quick. It was a bad color choice because now I'm also remembering a conversation I had with you last time we did this, where I indicated here I connected Takashi and Haruna with a purple line. And if you look at my key, purple means that they're in the same class. Because this is one of my fucking early boards where I haven't come up with a color dynamic thing yet. So it should be an orange line between them, not purple. Anyway, go ahead.
That also explains why they could never really block them from the chat, because it would be someone else who was possessed by this who would jump into the chat and have the same thoughts over and over again.
That's a thought I had last episode, where I said that there was a lot of people typing at once, because it was a lot of people typing at once and not one person typing faster than one person could type.
And couldn't get banned, because every time you ban one, 3 or 4 or 5 or 10. Well, you can do a block ban, I suppose. But
I think what I was talking about last time was more the element that it's more than one person could type, because they weren't just like copying and pasting one message. It was a bunch of messages, and some of them were like 3 sentences long. Some of them were like a word long. It just would be insane for one person to do that much. So it seems more likely that it's everybody that was infected by Sakya.
We know that they used a sword to cut off Celti's head. That was the sword that was used, which is why Celti's so interested. Could it be that also in that process the sword split?
No,
because it seems the spirit of the sword goes into different things, like the knife and the thing. And
the knife was a false. It was a red herring.
Yeah,
that was the whole point of Shinra grabbing it, and she's like, "No, don't do it." He's like, "It's fine, it's fine." I don't think the legendary sword of 1,000 years was made in 2009 Japan, because he looks at the maker's mark thing.
Yeah,
I mean, clearly there are other split off ones, but I don't think that's because of cutting Celti's head off. I don't know why there are, though. Again, this is one of those I have a feeling for, but I don't know the actual answer. I assume that's something we're going to get, if not something we've missed already.
So there you have it. That's what my takes on the board, as it were. Yes.
All right, as I said, I've got notes. I suppose the episode starting with Henri staring at Celti as Celti's shadow picked up the knife and put it on her bike was a bit of a hint towards what was going on, but Henri has been so quiet and demure the entire show that it just seemed like she was admiring Celti, especially since the follow-up was the confirmation that she had no head, Henri asking to see that, and not so much watching where the knife was going.
Then the knife never really mattered. Also picking up with the shadow also didn't matter because it was never a knife.
Oh, I don't know that Henri had any confirmation that the knife was nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I think the knife is not the one that holds the spirit, but it's a transmission vector.
No. That's the fake knife. The one we just talked about is a red herring.
Yeah, no, but okay, because the act of slashing is the thing that transfers, right? So it's just using the knife is simply a matter of using it to transmit it. It's not the knife itself has nothing in it. It's the person who is already possessed, right? They use the cutting act to pass it on. That's it.
Maybe. Could be. I feel it's more right than the last thing that I said wasn't right. But I don't know. It feels like there's just other versions of the knife. Like there's another knife out there that feels.
It could be a knife. It could be a sword, a plastic, a katana bought out of a store or something, or anything that would.
I'm not leaning into that aspect. I'm just going off of what I think the element is that there's another couple of blades out there that think that they're the mother blade. The element that the Gagaru girls think that they are or have the master blade. And then Henri pulls out, no, this is the master one. I've been suppressing it this whole time. It doesn't seem like the other love zombies know what the real one is. Kind of funny having two people in universe shipping Isaiah and Shizu.
Okay. Nothing to say about that, I guess.
Okay. Nothing to say about the animosity that's been going on all episode. Not all episode, all show. Especially with their whole backstory and how much one of them hates the other one as much. Why was Henri the only survivor of her parents' murder when the indication is that she was in the same room as where it happened? Did she kill her parents? She was in elementary school at the time.
Could be very well that she killed them, or whoever had the mother blade killed them and left the blade behind, I guess?
Well, that wouldn't make any sense because the person with the blade stabs people, or cuts them rather, doesn't kill them. That's the whole thing about the slasher.
And why would she do it unless she had a psychotic break or something like that? Or it's in self-defense, perhaps.
Well, again, I'm pointing out the indicator is that whoever killed her parents, they were all in the same room, and she survived. So why did she survive? Unless she was the one that did it.
And now she's carrying the guilt of doing that to this day. If she feels guilty at all. Or suppressing the memory.
Henri has been sacrificing a lot to stay attached to someone. She confirms who it isn't. We know that she went to lengths to stay near Mika before, but doesn't seem to be doing so now. It could be Mikado, stay close to the founder of the dollars, after all. But then again, she's always close to Kita when she's close to Mikado, too. The answer doesn't seem to make itself known yet.
Yeah, that I think we don't have enough information there for that one.
All right, well, my last note then. It's also worth noting that when Henri answered the door the first time, she was expecting Takashi. So him showing up later is an oddity to be sure, but maybe not as creepy considering that Henri is keeping secrets too. the element that he broke out in a sweat when confronted about the possibility of being a molester kind of has me wondering if Henri isn't strong-arming him into appearing to be that for purposes of whatever she's up to.
To cover for her activities, I guess? But what is she doing that would require... That seems kind of... No, I don't think how that works, though, because like, oh, pretend to be harassing me in public so everybody can see it in order to...
Okay, well, let me logic this out for you. And I don't mean like condescending. I mean like, let's put some pieces together and see if it makes more sense. Who is the person infatuated with Takashi?
Mikado.
No. Why is Mikado that infatuated with Takashi?
No, Takashi. Who is infatuated with Takashi? Oh, yeah, the girl in the hospital, wasn't it?
No, that's the girl that's infatuated. Or not infatuated. That's the girl who's the former girlfriend of Kita.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at the board. This is off the top of my head. I'm proud of myself now. This is a show we watch once a month, and I'm remembering shit.
Haruna.
Right.
Haruna
is infatuated with Takashi. She's in love with him. She was pro-molestation, essentially. Well, because, she's infatuated with. She's also, or she believes herself to be, home to Sakia, right?
Yeah.
So if you were in control of the Mother Blade and are up to something in regards to taking down Sakia, then keeping Takashi in a position where it seems like he's molesting you to have been moved on from Haruna would then make you the target of Haruna, luring her out.
Yeah, the question is why...
Well, I mean, to answer your question of for what purpose. And that would be a purpose that would then serve what we've seen in the show so far.
Except that what would compel him to do that if he is actually not a molester and
No, sorry. I think the confusion here is that maybe I was not very clear when I was writing this note. Not that he's not a molester, that he's not guilty of this molestation.
But he certainly went to the apartment expecting something, so...
No. That was the point, is that I think that she not lured him here, got him to do this in the same aspect that he's not actually molesting her now, that he is playing the part that he's being forced to play, thus that cold sweat. I am saying he is guilty of molesting Haruna. That is the actual molestation that he's guilty of. That this is all an act to lure out Haruna. Which, by the way, we've never seen anywhere that Henri was before. So clearly is a character that we need to lure out.
Yeah,
Except for, I guess, the dad. Was it the dad that attacked her?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't even Haruna that gets lured out the first time she gets attacked by the slasher.
Yeah. Okay, no, but still, why would he go along with this?
He's not. Well, he's not. He's being blackmailed, essentially.
Okay, so what does he have?
He's not willingly going along with. That's why I'm saying he's breaking out in the cold sweat. In the previous episode, where he's being called out, essentially they're going to call him out for the things that he's doing in a way that essentially is like, I'm being blackmailed into doing this, and now somebody else is going to call me out for the thing I'm already being blackmailed for. So I don't have any recourse. Cold sweat.
Okay, but the first time it supposedly happened with Haruna, he was the one who was forced away.
I think you're maybe not listening. I said that he's guilty of that. He's guilty of that initial molestation.
But he didn't get punished for it.
I don't know. That's my answer. Like, what's your theory? Because that's my theory, and so far it's the best working theory that I can come up with.
I think it has nothing to do with it. I think he's just being a creep, and he got caught when he realized that she was more than he could handle. It was like, oh shit, she's armed and everything. Like, fuck, I can't handle this.
I want to point out to you.
He thought that she was an easy prey, and then it's like, oh, she's not. Oh shit.
That's too simple.
Now?
It's just too fucking simple. I think your thing is too simple. I think it's too simple because this show complicates every character that we meet. That every character has a whole backstory, a current complication that they're going through. some massive story arc involving them. Maybe not when we first meet them. That every character is massively more complicated. There is no side character. Well, it doesn't feel like there's any side characters in the show. So everybody being a main character has a main character level of story. And I'm just saying that I don't think we've gotten Takashi's story yet. So when you're saying, oh, he's just this guy who's fucking bad and he got in over his head, that does not feel like anyone's story that we've met in this show so far. Everyone has an overly complicated story because everyone is a main character. That's what I'm saying. You've got to... I already said it's not. That's not. You've got to take in everybody's like points of connection with everybody. Takashi has points of connection with Kaida, Mikado, Haruna, Henri. I'll say that's it.
I mean, everybody in the school that we know,
Well, I mean, we know more people in the school. It's just I don't think anybody, like, when I say points of connection, I mean, like, when I'm doing boards and I say, these are characters that we interacted with, but they've got no voice actors. Do I put them on the board? The difference between, let's say, some Gundam shows and, like 8th MS Team, right? Where I, like, fucking put everybody on, even people that didn't matter. So, points of connection being people that have actively interacted with him before. So in this aspect, I think those are the points of connection that we have to look at, in which case that means we have to look at those characters and what they're up to, like the element that we still haven't figured out what Kita is up to with that girl in the hospital that used to be his girlfriend, that Isaiah comes and visits. Like, everybody has so many tiers of complexity to them that...
She's awake now.
She's been awake the whole time. She was never not awake. Well, conceivably, she's not awake for 8 hours a day. But, I mean, she's never been, like, coma status. Every time we've seen her, essentially since the first time Kita walked by the hospital window and looked up, and then later on, she goes, oh, yeah, he actually stopped by today, and then talking to Isaiah. And then I think a couple other times we've seen her at the hospital. Well, she's always at the hospital. She's not permanently in the hospital for some reason. But I mean, Kita interacts with him, but that seems just more like he's the point face of that. If there's a deeper connection there, I don't know it yet. Obviously Mikado, because Mikado is the same thing with Henri. And then Henri was the whole basis of this comparison. And then, we already know the backstory of Haruna. We get that through Henri. And, but then again, there's the element of Henri is paying attention to Mika. But then again, that could be the element that she maybe thought the sword cut Mika's head off, and that turned out to be fake the entire time.
Yeah. Just a plastic surgery thing.
Again, this show employs red herrings, too, which is a throw-off. Because obviously, from episode 1, Mikado runs into Mika on the street. Like, they bounce off of each other, and that's when you first see that Mika's head kind of looks like a different shade of color from the rest of her body, and she's got the scars, and I'm like, that's clearly Celti's body, or it's clearly Celti's head, or whatever. And I thought that for like 10 episodes. And then it was a red herring the entire time. It's like,
yeah,
so fucking smart. And then I wasn't.
Yeah. She went away and she got to be with her stalking victim. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, she also got to be with her assaulter.
True.
It's not like clear on either side, right? Technically, you tried to kill me, but I was also heavily involved in your personal space. I mean, like, one of these crimes is worse than the other.
I mean, yeah, you should not
murder people.
You only get to murder, or try to anyway, unless you're doing it in self-defense. But in this case, it was just an attempt to murder that.
Again, it was trying to clear my personal space, but at the same time, I don't think that what do you call it? I don't think you get to employ... Do you get... some states you do, actually, get to employ castle defense just for your personal space being invaded. Not right to retreat. What's it called? I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh, you have right to retreat.
Doctrine of retreat? Well, it's not right to retreat. It's
It says the doctrine of retreat. You should get away from danger, and you can only employ self-defense in 2 modes. One, you have no recourse; you have to defend yourself, and you should only use as much self-defense as is necessary to safeguard your life.
Well, it's usually supposed
more.
to be equal force. But also, the castle defense is in play in certain states where you just have the right to defend your
home or person
or property. Because when you read a story about somebody who was just in their yard and they got shot by their neighbor, and they employ castle defense, and it actually works.
Yeah, because that's when you talk about your home, there's a term for it, which is basically your enclosure. You're part of the enclosure. Yeah, if it's a person violates your enclosure, it doesn't necessarily have to be going inside your house. In most castle defense states, it's the house and its extensions, right? It's called the enclosure of the house. So yeah, it could be your, it could be your front yard or something like that, which is, from a point of view, like that's a bit too much, but yeah.
Well, I mean, usually it's always the crazy fucking thing. I was watering my lawn, and my neighbor shot me.
No, that's too much.
I was still threatened by my neighbor. Anyway, I don't remember talking about it anymore. So let's go ahead and hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
It's definitely not as good as the first one. I know we say this every episode. Because again, we only watch one episode a month. So it's just the one time we hear the opening mixed in with all the other openings that we listen to.
I always say this is more like a lo-fi version of it. This is the Study 2.
Well, I mean, it's certainly not even compared to the first one. But you weren't a huge fan of the first opening. This is just more generic of an anime song.
Yeah. I
wonder. Sorry, I hadn't paid attention before about who's looking at who on their phones. Vis-a-vis who Isaiah was looking at on his phone. Was that what's his name's sister?
Yeah. And also in the original trio, it's Henri and not what's her name.
You're talking about the original trio.
Because the three students appear in the opening. You would.
They're not the original trio, though. Oh, to the backstory of the episode, you get to see Chikuzo and his insane strength thing. Sorry. You'll admit that this also gets edited out anyway. Not edited out, silenced. I would say it's the original quadruplet. What do you call that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 4 guys that turn out were the 3 guys and the girl. Right there, the ones that you saw in front of the van. Because technically, Mikado comes to the city in episode 1 and meets up with Kita, and then Kita introduces them to his friends, and it's those 4 with the van. Henri doesn't come until like episode 3. She's not high at all. She is actually high. I mean, I guess despite being suppressed, she still has the red eyes.
Yeah.
Well, the same way World War Z. Well, no, he said he'd handle it. He very specifically said, "I'll get this," and then had a whole speech about how they're not his type. None of them. I mean, essentially, he gave the Superman speech. This world of cardboard, I can finally stop holding back.
なんかあったんじゃねえか。ちょっと見てきたらどうだ。どっちにしろ、お前今何もしてねえだろ。
Well,
カマと同じ特別性だ。刃物ぐらいなら受け止められる。
ありがとうよ。
They're also part of my body, so you
Yeah.
putting that one in your mouth was a bit weird for me.
Or your fingers.
さてと。
Oh no, the gloves, that's what they're supposed to go. But when
Yeah, I
he's
know, but
putting
still.
one on, he put the other one in his
ま
mouth.
さか
He's putting part of my body in your mouth.
あの時私を襲ったのはあなた自分の両親も
Oh, I was right. Ah! Elementary school takes down 2 parents.
そっちの災禍の子供は戦い方までは教えてくれなかったんですね。お願いです。他の災禍にやめるように言ってください。親であるあなたが命令すれば子供たちは止まるはずです。あなたが災禍に乗っ取られていればそのさらに親である私の災禍から命令することもできるん
This
です
could get really
そんな
confusing.
はずない私は災禍を抑えつけた愛の力で愛を知らないあなたなんかに
少しだけ聞かせてあげます。私の中に
Exposition time.
いつもいつも響いている災禍の愛の言葉を。
I guess implying that you're not suppressing anything with love. That Sayaka is love. Because remember, Sayaka loves all of humanity. That's the thing.
Yeah.
それは偽りだった。それが現実だ。
Yeah. That explains
Yeah.
that.
古物商だった彼女の父はうまくいかない商売の鬱憤を家族への暴力で晴らした。
Not exactly what I call letting off some
次第に
steam.
彼女は心を閉ざすようになった。
She calls it Kokoro. He calls the spirit, her connection to them.
その頃だった。切り裂き魔が現れたのは。
I guess we were both right.
It was her mom? Her mother.
Well, I just meant that you said the slasher maybe killed them, but it's not the slasher's.
愛しているわあなた
Slasher doesn't typically kill people. At least the modern slasher doesn't.
切り裂き魔
I
の
guess
正体は
the parent blade fell in love with Henri and then killed the mother in a suicide maneuver.
Yeah.
Because technically it's only possessing it. You don't kill yourself if you kill the person you're possessing. So the show's kind of like The Crazies, if you've ever seen those movies.
Ouch.
Well, remember, he's the one who like stabbed with pencils and everything before. Also, in his growing up, dealing with the super strength, he constantly kept getting sent to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, who's he got to be afraid of other than maybe Isaiah?
And Isaiah just pisses him off.
Yeah, I mean, as per that whole episode.
そう、俺は世界一の臆病者だ。だがそれがどうして、俺が臆病なことにてめえらを打ちのめすこと何の関係もあるし、それには俺のことを愛してくれる奴の前で倒れるわけにはいかないだろう。
Like I said, everybody in the show is filled with depth.
なんでそんな声に耐えられるの？
私はいろいろと足りない人間なんです。だから足りない何かを補うためにいろいろな何かに寄生して生きている。私には人を愛する心が足りないからずっとこの声を聞き続けられるんです。ずっとずっと客観的に。
Yeah, so it's gonna be like Shizu. There's like nothing there to infect. I'm not afraid of this.
なぜ怖がるんですか？切るのは愛の結果なんでしょう。
わざと切られたの？どうして？
これからあなたに少しひどいことをします。だか
Hate to hear that.
ら貸し借りなしです。あなたの心を私の災禍に乗っ取らせてもらいます。謝りませんよ。ここでまた謝ったら私の生き方を否定することになりますから。私はずるいんだと思います。
Yeah, I'll let you hit me first. Now I don't have to feel guilty.
自分の平穏を守ろうとしているんですから。でも仕方がないんですよ。寄生虫ですから。彩花は寂しがり屋なんです。私たちから見たら間違っているかもしれないけど、人間が本当に好きなんです。だから愛してあげてください。煮川先輩も彩花のことを。先輩は私と違って人を愛することができるんですから。
To a degree that most people will never know. You psycho bitch.
Yeah.
Yep, but a bunch of normal girl in the face. Yeah, a somewhat normal girl.
なんでこんな子がいいの？
くたばったやつは一人もいねえか。
Again, I still remember the first person we saw him punch literally got knocked out of their clothes.
やっと俺の言うこと聞いてくれたな。ハンリなのか？
そいつは前に俺に切りつけてきてな。問題にならないよう転校させてたんだ。まだ諦めてん。
I mean, so yeah, I guess it's always possible he never molested anybody. That she was just fucking crazy from the get-go.
ハンリ、一緒に逃げよう。その原、お前には目をかけてやっただろう。そうだ、有馬だ。有馬と同じクラスになれたのは誰のおかげだと。
その借りはもう返しました。
返したって、今のでか。
私は黒バイクさんが切り裂き魔だと思ってました。だから先生が襲われるんだと思って無我夢中で先生を助けたくって。
え？
先生が好きだったからじゃありません。先生への借りは絶対に返しておきたかったから。
何の話だ？
先生はどうして黒バイクさんに追われていたんですか？一体何をやったんですか？
こいつあの時の。
何って。
Wait.
なんだそんなもの持って。お前もか？お前もなのか？お前も俺を。
いいえ、私は煮川先輩とは違います。私は先生のこと大嫌いですから。
Yeah, I was just paying you back. But what was the... Does that imply he is a kidnapper? I can't tell if the scene that I was seeing was from episode 1, where they were kidnapping girls.
Oh, okay.
That was from a manga thing. They're making a manga in the backseat. See? Oh, really? We watched Kino's Journey. Me and Justin watched Kino's Journey.
Oh, so,
Sorry, that was
Okay.
after. You and me watched the thing after. That's Henry.
okay.
you and me watched other Henry stuff. I thought it was you and me.
Probably
but
the same studio did Kino's Journey. I
no,
guess that's
no,
what
they
mentioned.
mentioned a bunch of manga. Like I said, their manga group in the back.
本当に大丈夫なの？で、その正臣はどこに？
さっき帰りました。何か用があるって。
たくこんな時に何の用だよ。
So she can't love, so his affection for her is wasted, I guess.
No, she's a parasite. Remember, it's give and take. Same thing she was doing with Takashi. I was paying you back.
Parasite is not a good thing.
Actually, it is.
I don't think it's a give and take.
Literally, it's one of the most healthy relationships you can have on Earth in the animal kingdom.
Oh, yeah, but not between people. Actually, no. You're talking about symbiotic, not parasitic.
No.
Parasitic would kill you.
No.
Parasite will kill you. That's why it's parasite, isn't it?
She just keeps saying no until we get to the end of the episode.
それってまさか静雄さん？
もう一人の人がすごくかっこよくて、驚かないでくださいね。首なしライダーさんなんです。
No, so maybe I was right. That's why she was staring at her. She was doing that. It wasn't about the knife. But you keep calling Celty a he, which is very confusing.
信じるというか、あの人女だよ。
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Also, clearly a girl.
Yeah.
いや、だからあの人は言えない。
I mean, not that it matters. She wants to be in love with a girl. She can be in love with a girl. Remember, she was infatuated with Mika, another girl before. So.
あんまり関わらない方が。
龍ヶ峰君、この世で本当の非日常って何だと思いますか？何も起こらないこと、毎日毎日同じことの繰り返しで何も起きない、何も変わらない、それが本当の。
I don't know. I prefer that. I dislike change.
セルティさん、
Maybe it's an element of the fact that that's the sword that cut her head off, that it's infatuated with her, and she actually can feel love, and this is the only thing that the sword feels love for. Well, no, we know the sword feels love for everything. Maybe this is the only thing bleeding through. Two supernatural creatures. No. Hot.
もし納得できないというなら、君が手に入れた力をこの町のためのボランティア活動に使ってくれ。
彼女は力を手に入れた。100人を超える災禍の集団を意のままに操れる力。その力を彼女は重荷に
I was gonna say 100 Sayakas at will, or 100 people infested by Sayakas. That's two different things.
I think it's 100 Sayakas, which would explain why there were so many people that could be infected.
Well, no, I mean it's like the difference between being a lich and a lich that controls liches. Because each lich can then control an army of their own, undead army.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's what they mean or not.
問い返しても返事はなかった。だが、それでよかった。ほんの少しだけ嬉しくなった。
So the sword came to. Oh, yeah, maybe there's something she can feel about.
日常に戻った。
Conversation that should not be named.
だが、本当のことを彼らには言えない。
I mean, it is implied, though, that the family life was pleasant at one time. Because when we were watching him strangle her, there was a picture of the happier memories on the desk or whatever.
目的はわからない。だがもしその人物が帝や正臣、自分たちの平穏を壊そうというのなら、不安と決意にまみれながら、
Well, that's the two people I mentioned in my notes.
思い出した。その名は
折原いざやって
Derek.
やっぱりおかしな名前。
Derek Zabi.
こんな風に育ったのは偶然かもしれないけど、自分じゃぴったりだと思ってるよ。ナミエさんは偶然ってどこまで信じる？
何の話？
彼らは今回のいろいろなことが偶然だと思っているんだろう。
Of course they're not.
あの時間帯に那須島を行くように仕向けたのは俺なのにさ。しかしあいつ本当にバカだったな。 その原杏里の住所なんてクラス名簿を盗み見りゃ一発だろうに。いや、それにしてもあるっていう前提で調べると結構あるもんだね。妖刀とか妖精というもんはさ。
Our first holistic bad guy.
本当に偶然だったのは、那須島が俺の金を取って逃げた時。借金に追われていた那須島はかつて自分のストーカーだった
Oh, is this the debt?
親をゆすり金を作ろうとした。闇金の元締めアワクス会から紹介され、春菜の家族について調査を依頼するためにうちに来て。
There's the glasses that we saw.
And he let him have the
食いついた。新川春菜が災禍だっていう情報は掴んでいた。那須島を捕まえて、この野郎、俺の金盗みやがったなって脅して、春菜を利用してやろうと思ってた。ところが、
Okay, and that's the scene that we saw earlier.
じゃない本物の災禍が現れた。
Oh yeah, and I didn't recognize that was him holding the suitcase. Because that was the first episode that we saw the slasher.
俺としてはしずちゃんが死んでくれたら最高だったんだけど、まあいっか。狙い通りことは運んでくれたわけだし。
狙い通り
増えたね、警察の人たち。
Yeah, and that one's Super Cop.
Yahoo, Japan.
南池袋公園でもなんかあったの？
I guess product placement. Oh. Yeah, it's a product placement.
切り裂き魔じゃないんすか？
結局何だったんだろう。あのおじさんもよくわからないみたいだったし。
催眠術にでもかかったみたいな。
Oh, the reporter, investigator. Well, I didn't know who they meant by old guy.
警察だけじゃないっすよ。
Retaliate against the dollars. Yeah, but the dollars is like everybody.
あれ？
Yeah.
これってダラーズのリーダーっすかね？
Yeah, I mean, Mikado. They said Mikado went off somewhere. Or not Mikado. Was it Asada?
何があなたの狙いなの？
これで町はダラーズと黄金族、妖刀軍団の3つに分かれたわ。
Really? What happened to the other two gangs?
ダラーズにも黄金族にもそれぞれ潜入してるときた。正直、妖刀組を作ることができれば。
I would say conceivably the dollars also would have spies in the scarves.
でも、その何のが面白いよね。
で、
今は火種で十分だよ。
The scarves seem like the lowest tier of the gangs now, except that the only gang surviving who's not a main character gang.
俺はもう待ちきれないよ。
Unless Kita is the leader of the yellow scarves, and that's his secret.
そんなに大したもの？
ガキのくせしてあれだけの人数をまとめるってのがすでに脅威なんだよ。まあ、
And that's why they're asking him to come back.
Well, who are we gonna see? Better be Kita.
俺を引き戻さないでくれ。
好き放題やりやがって。やっぱ俺たち先輩がいないと話になんねえっす。
先輩じゃねえよ、将軍だろうが。
すみません。
ああ、いいっていいって。今の俺は将軍な
I
んて
mean,
もんじゃねえ。
definitely that's Kita, right?
ただの平民。
Yeah.
つうか、ただの
高校生。
そう、ただの高校生でいたかったんだ。俺は俺の平穏を手に入れたわけよ。仲のいいやつに囲まれて適度にデンジャラスな生活をよ。
それをぶっ壊しやがって。許せねえ。アンリに手を出したのは本当に許せねえ。
たとえ何人いようが切り裂き魔は絶対に潰す。
Well, that's gonna be real confusing for you then.
ならその時はダラーズを潰せ。
俺を
Your friend.
引き戻しやがって。
And he knows who the dollars are, right? Because he's the
Yeah.
one to help them.
So everyone's got spies in every other group too. Conceivably, like
So
the slashers
that's his
aren't
angle. He
really
just
like
wants.
the slashers really aren't like spies in groups. They are they themselves who just happen to
Yeah.
have been in people that are in those groups.
Yeah.
So, and then again, the element that anyone can be a dollar, meaning that anyone can be one of those other groups in the dollars, but also anyone can be a dollar and in those groups. The only one that can't hide anyone in anywhere is the, well, I guess unless they're actually double crossing them as the Yellow Scarves. I mean, it's
so now we know what Isaiah's always going. He wants to see blood and action and people acting in weird ways. So now he wants the city to explode in a gang war because it's fun for him to see, I guess.
Well, I mean, again, I think it goes contrary to what you thought before, that he's some sort of like supernatural being. I think he's probably the only fucking human. One of the only fucking humans. He's doing the whole what did you well no. What did you say
Joker?
during Macross?
Which Macross?
The last episode we recorded.
Oh.
But humans always come out on top or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah. Because they, you push them to the point where they will. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like we're, hold on, we get next, yeah.
俺は戻ってきた。決して戻るつもりはなかったのに、ここへ戻ってきた。俺とサキと、あの男の過去に決着をつけるために。次回、死生有名。
Okay, so the guys that were going after Shinra's dad are Yellow Scarves, because I was like, I recognize those guys from somewhere. That's who they are.
Yeah.
Very clearly it looked like Isaiah was visiting Kira's ex-girlfriend at the hospital, and then Kira's going to get angry. I kept saying Kira. Kita is going to get angry about that. But then again, he's been visiting her often, and I have to assume he hasn't been visiting her because she's like a connection to his past that he was trying to get away from. The element that he was, that she's an element of that element of his past, or it's either that or she got hurt while he was the shogun of the Yellow Scarves, and that's what led him away. But now it's also weird because he's like, seemed like he was half joking about going after Henri romantically, because he was just trying to push Mikado forwards. But now it's like, how dare you anybody hurt her? We'll get that slasher, and Henri is the slasher now, although technically not, but technically so. Like, she's not technically the slasher because the slasher's now been defeated, but technically she is the authority from which Sayaka exists. So now I'm going to avenge myself on the person I'm avenging. And then the dollars, which he knows who run. Does he? I don't remember if he actually knows who runs the dollars. I think he knows who's a member of the dollars. I don't think he knows that his best friend is the admin of the dollars.
Yeah. No. I was saying that it's getting very, well, it was always convoluted.
Convoluted in a good way for me, convoluted in a bad way for you. I really love this shit. This show is fucking amazing. Maybe somewhere down the line we'll watch Bakano, which is also from the same maker in the same world. And I've heard many a good thing about Bakano. And there's that guy and the girl that show up during the dollars, the one where everybody who's a dollar shows up. Apparently they're from Bakano as well. Like their characters over there. I think Bakano is something like immortals. Like everyone in that show is like an immortal, and it's like stories about immortals in like early 1900s America.
I think I know the show you're talking about. Yeah,
I've never seen it. It's my description of it.
Yeah. There's a pair of them who are immortals, and they go through all this.
No, I think it's a bunch of people. Like it's a bunch of immortals, and I think they're just two of them, and that explains why they could come from Bakano to here. Like they just, I guess that implies they must win. I don't know what Bakano is ultimately about. Like the only things I've ever seen, like clips or anything, like even clips, like. I don't know. I don't remember hearing a single voice line from Bakano, but like maybe like elements of trailers or previews or something like that. It was always like something on a train.
About. Well, there you have it. Episode of Durarara. Interesting, as always.
Yeah. All right.
For me,
I guess. Final thought: time is limited, and we all die in the end. I have been Theta. This has been Lessons, and we will be back next time. I threw myself off by doing that. Anyway, bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?